Reporting from Arkham Asylum, this is Gotham Rogues. In this video we count down the 5 greatest Mirror Master stories ever told. I'm glad I still remember how to do the intro, after it's been so long. I ended up taking a break for a whole month, not really what I had planned, but I guess I needed it. While it was nice to get a break from tedious video editing, I did also greatly miss it. After over a year of non-stop video making, it felt pretty weird not to be doing it at all anymore. Well, we're back now. However, I won't be uploading as often as I used to, because if I did, I'd just end up getting burned out again. So anyway, let's get into the greatest tales of the Mirror Master, my personal favorite Flash Rogue. The title of the Mirror Master has of course been held by 2 guys. The original, Sam Scudder, and the second, a Scottish mercenary by the name of Evan McCulloch. Number 5. Tooth and Claw. Written by Grant Morrison and penciled by Chaz Trogue, this one was published in Animal Man number 21 in 1990. It's one of the earliest appearances of the second Mirror Master, Evan McCulloch. In a previous issue of Animal Man, McCulloch was hired by a corporation to scare off Animal Man, whose environmentalist escapades had affected the company. It didn't work, of course, so in later issues the corporation ordered Mirror Masters to kill the hero's family. This the Rogue refused, as not even he would sink to such low levels. Nevertheless, the deed was performed, not by Evan, but another hitman hired by the company. Anyway, so in this story, Animal Man is looking for payback, and I mean real payback, as he's been pushed far over the edge. He's going to kill the hitman and all the leaders of the corporation. Animal Man doesn't know how to find any of them, however, but the Mirror Master does, and luckily for the hero, he offers to help out. The corporation owes the Rogue some money anyway, so he'll aid in Animal Man's revenge spree and get his cash. This isn't really a Mirror Master's story, but an Animal Man story. It's about him and his descent into darkness, as he becomes a relentless killer fueled by grief and pain. I still think it's a great appearance by McCulloch though. Here we learn that while Evan may be a villain, he's not a pure evil bastard. He's got limits. He might kill a superhero, but he would never kill their innocent, defenseless families. Mirror Master is also human enough to help Animal Man get his revenge. Sure, there's the money involved, but that's not the main reason he does it. The cash is really just a bonus. Number 4. Mirror Mirror Off the Wall. Published in The Flash 292 in 1980, this one was written by Cary Bates and penciled by Don Heck. In it, the Flash is lured to a funhouse of mirrors at a carnival by the Mirror Master. There, the fiendish Rogue uses gadgetry to transform the Scarlet Speedster into a living embodiment of the goofy reflections. However, this turns out to be a mere illusion, and eventually Barry realizes what his old foe has truly done to him, namely reverse his entire being, like a reflection. Even his brain halves have been reversed, and now the hero can't even properly control his own body. This cruel prank is a device to keep the Flash incapacitated, while the Mirror Master pulls off his new master's scheme, namely to steal and hold for ransom a giant observatory mirror. So obviously this comic features the original Mirror Master, Sam Scudder, although for some reason he's called Joe Scudder here. I guess Cary Bates forgot what the character's name was. Anyway, this is not a groundbreaking story or anything. It doesn't really explore the character of Mirror Master. It's just a fun classic Bronze Age Barry Allen vs. Sam Scudder tale. Scudder appeared in a lot of Flash comics as the sole villain, as opposed to McCulloch, who's usually just part of an ensemble of rogues, like most Flash villains are in more modern comics. Most of the Scudder stories are pretty mediocre though, but this is definitely one of the better ones. What I mainly like about it is how the Rogue's powers are used, turning the Flash into a mirror image of himself. A reverse Flash, I guess you could say. That's pretty clever and a really awesome concept. This is not a deep masterpiece or anything, just a fun old school comic. Number 3. The Doom of the Mirror Flash. Written by John Broome and penciled by Carmine Infantino, this one was published in The Flash 126 in 1961. In the story, Sam Scudder has discovered the existence of a mirror world, a place that exists beyond the reflective surface of all mirrors. To escape prison, Scudder travels into this strange land, which turns out to be ruled by tall Amazonian women calling themselves Orinokas. At first, they're hostile towards Scudder, but then they grow mesmerized by a small mirror in his possession. Apparently, these ladies have never seen mirrors before. Ironic since they live in a mirror world. But anyway, promising to create more of these magical reflective devices, Scudder makes a deal with the ladies. In return, they treat him as a king and offer any comforts conceivable. Eventually, Scudder grows bored, however, as he's not able to practice his passion, crimes. So Sam begins to plot a crime spree in Orinoco City. But before he's able to set it in motion, the Amazonians deliver to him all the items he planned to steal. In the mirror world, everyone can read each other's minds, so the women simply heard his desires and then supplied him with them. That's not what Scudder wanted though. The prize isn't the point. He just wants to be a supervillain again and pull off daring capers. Stuck in this boring predicament with no outlet for his roguish shenanigans, the only hope for Sam is to somehow contact his hated arch foe, the Flash. So this is another Scudder tale, actually the 4th one ever published, and in my opinion it's by far the greatest appearance by the original Mirror Master. It's a really wacky story, just so typical of the outlandish Silver Age. I'm in a mirror world inhabited by Amazonian women who's never heard of mirrors and to read your mind. Can it get more Silver Age? But I love it. It's actually one of the finest examples of a crazy DC comic of that era. But what truly makes it so great is the depiction of Scudder. It's really the only pre-crisis story to explore the character and to give him interesting motivations. Mirror Master isn't committing crimes for the cash or to hurt people. He's doing it because supervillainy is like an addiction to him. Number 2. Mirror Mirror on the Wall. Published in The Flash 212 in 2004, this one was written by Jeff Johns and penciled by Stephen Cummings. In the story, Evan McCulloch, again the second Mirror Master, is hunted by the agents of the Trickster, former rogue and pal of McCulloch, who now works for the FBI. Trickster has been tasked to bring down his old friends, the Rogues. Meanwhile, we get flashbacks to Evan's past as he relates his entire life story and origin. We learn of all the tragic events that shaped him into becoming the man he is today, including growing up in an orphanage because he was abandoned by his parents, becoming a hitman, and, unknowingly at the time, assassinating his estranged father, which led to his mother's suicide. A majority of the comic is made up of these flashback scenes, fleshing out McCulloch's background. It was about damn time that we got a Mirror Master origin story, as we knew very little about Evan's past up until that point, and as far as I know, Sam Scudder never got a proper origin beyond his first appearance. During his run on Flash, Jeff Johns did a lot of these one-shot origin issues for several of the rogues, including Captain Cold, Heatwave, and the Pied Piper. They're all great, and among the best Flash rogue stories. Johns had a knack for writing these villains as actual characters, with real emotions and motivations, as opposed to just walking gimmicks. He gave them depth, and made many of them more interesting than what they had ever been before. With this story, we truly understand why McCulloch ended up as such a mess of a man. Due to all these horrifying experiences, it's not strange that he's an antisocial, semi-psychotic villain. Plus, there was something off about the guy from the start. A dark side, waiting behind the surface. He knew so himself when gazing into his own reflection. But perhaps during a different set of circumstances, McCulloch's destiny could have been avoided. But with his luck, it wasn't to be. As this comic examines the character of Mirror Master more than any other, I guess I'd say it's the definitive go-to story, even though it's not my personal number 1. And now for the greatest Mirror Master story in my opinion. Number 1. 3 Glass Darkly. Published in The Flash 105 in 1995, this one was written by Mark Waid and penciled by Ron Lim. I'm pretty sure it's the first time Evan McCulloch actually faced the Flash. It's of course not Barry Allen though, but the Wally West version. In the comic, Mirror Master kidnaps Wally and takes him to a bizarre dimension that exists within all reflective surfaces, a mirror world. Not the one with the Amazonians though, that's only a pre-crisis thing. This world is filled with floating glass shards that each represent a reflective surface in the real world, and they work as windows, so watching through them you can see into any part of the world as long as there's a reflective surface nearby. And why did McCulloch bring the Flash here? Well, turns out he's looking for the double of a woman he once loved, who then sadly passed away. He once caught a glimpse of a supposed double of this woman through the mirror world, but he's been unable to find her again as there's just too many windows to look through. Evan reasons that with his super speed, the Flash can view every single one of them in no time at all. Once the lady's been found, McCulloch can say his last goodbyes to the love of his life. Of course, things aren't quite as they seem, and the Mirror Master isn't telling the whole story. I'm not going to reveal the plot twist of this tale, as I really want you to seek this issue out and read it for yourself. It was real easy to find and dirt cheap when I got it a couple of years ago, so there shouldn't be any trouble. I'll say this though, Mirror Master is indeed a double-crossing, sneaky bastard in this comic, but he does have his reasons. And while he does act like a total psycho, we can kind of understand him. Isn't that just the thing with Evan McCulloch? He's a really disturbed guy, but he hasn't lost his humanity. So there you have it, those are the 5 greatest Mirror Master stories ever told, in my opinion. The next few of these types of videos will continue the spotlight on Flash villains, but I'll eventually return to the Batrogues of course. We still got plenty of them left after all, like Bane, Ra's al Ghul, Black Mask, Man-Bat, Deadshot, and many more. Anyway, you know what the deal is. Arkham Asylum awaits you in the next video.